Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Pro Football Corner with Nick. I am your host, Rudy Rodriguez Shomont. And this is a topic that we kind of talked about last week, but clearly we had no idea what the hell we were talking about when we talked about it, because when we talked about it, it looked like Jameis Winston might be the quarterback for the New York Giants. And then literally the next day, Russell Wilson signs with the Giants. And that leaves the question. What are the Giants going to do in the draft now? Are they going to take Shedeur Sanders at 3? Or are they going to, I don't know, not draft a quarterback? I don't know. For those of y'all who are new to the channel, thank you for joining us. Like, subscribe, follow, leave a comment. For those of you who are new here again, appreciate y'all. Like the video, leave a comment. What do you think, Nick?
I hate when teams make a fool of me because I came out here last week and I said, Shedeur won't fall past 3. He won't fall past 3. He's going to the Giants. All signs are pointing to him going towards the Giants. They got Jameis. They're gonna get Shedeur. He's gonna mentor him. But guess what, Rudy? I'm still right. He won't fall past 3. He's going to Cleveland. It's set in stone. But the Giants situation, I don't know. What are y'all doing? Are y'all all the way in or y'all all the way out? Are y'all just dipping y'all toe in the pool? Y'all don't really want to, it's cold. I'm going to step out. Or y'all going to hop in the pool? I don't know what's going on. Are y'all fully rebuilding or are y'all not rebuilding? Because if you're going to rebuild, you got neighbors out there. You give him a young quarterback that he could grow up with. Sort of like Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin. You kind of let them grow together, take their lumps and their bruises. Next thing you know, hey, we might win 3 championships. So you go get a young quarterback and you get him with neighbors and you let them grow and blossom to be a dynamic duo in the NFL. But right now you go get Jameis, who's older. You go get Russell Wilson, who's on his last leg or in the NFL. He's been shopped around the last couple of years. I want him, don't want him, want him, don't want him. And now you're in this predicament of mediocrity in New York, and you don't see the clouds. It's like the clouds is over the sun the whole time. You don't see the light shining through for them to be successful. And I don't get it. I don't know what their plan is. It just looks bleak right now. You're all in the rebuild, or you go in for a championship. What are they doing? I'm highly confused by their situation.
If with the owner of the Cleveland Browns saying what he said, that they completely swung and missed on the Deshaun Watson deal, which I think we all would agree with that.
He's still on the roster.
That was a big swing and miss, but you're stuck.
He's still on the roster. What do you mean you swung and missed?
They have no choice. They have no choice. He's got a guaranteed deal.
Rudy, I'm still here. What do you mean? You swung and missed. What? You officially gave up on me? I'm here.
Well, again, they took a big swing and miss with Deshaun. This guy Jimmy Haslam said on Monday at the league's annual meeting. We thought we had the quarterback. We didn't, and we gave up a lot of draft picks to get him.
Rudy,
we've got to dig ourselves out of that hole. The trade was an entire organization decision, and it ends with D and I. So I hold us accountable.
He's still on the roster, Rudy. He's still gonna get paid. It was guaranteed. What are y'all talking about? Like he's deceased? Like he's not on the roster anymore. He's still there. God damn, that got to be an awkward situation to go into that facility.
Cleveland still owes Watson $46 million in each of the next 2 seasons. The Browns' quarterback room currently consists of Watson and Kenny Pickett, who the team traded for in mid-March.
Hold on,
Browns coach Kevin Stefanski said Pickett will get an opportunity to compete to start in 2025.
Rudy,
hold
on. Did Haslam just with 2 strikes in the batter box just walk to the dugout? He got 2 strikes. He just walked to the dugout. He still got a third strike.
I think he's finally just voicing how he feels. But how he feels doesn't really matter because they're not gonna. It says, despite the admission that the Watson trade was unsuccessful, Haslam said the team is not tied to taking a quarterback with a 2nd overall pick in the 2025 draft. It would be great if we could get the quarterback, but we're not going to force it. They're not going to draft Shedeur Sanders at 2. There's not a chance in hell.
There's
You're not going to pay for a $46 million backup for 2 years.
So you still think this? So you're telling me that Deshaun Watson still has a chance?
Absolutely has a chance to start. Absolutely. He's been injured. He's always hurt. That's the problem. He's always hurt. Of course he has a chance to start.
So he should be back in time for camp-ish. Not like, regular camp.
Deshaun Watson?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he? I mean, I don't know. I don't
know what the report.
What was his injury? I don't even remember. He
tore his Achilles.
Tore his Achilles. Okay.
So, but they also said that he had a possible setback, like in December or something like that. So if he did,
so you're still paying $46 million now for a guy who's not playing.
Yes. So
I'm definitely not. You got Kenny Pickett who's going to start. If that's the case, they're going to suck. They're going to suck again. They're going to suck again.
Why not get a rookie quarterback and then you be ready to get rid of Deshaun after next season?
Do you really think? Okay, we got to remember who we're talking about here. Do you really think that Shedeur Sanders will allow himself to get drafted by the Cleveland Browns?
All right, you got me there.
I'm asking. Do you really think, like, with all the shit that Deion Sanders talks?
I think
Shedeur Sanders is not begging for a crumb. He doesn't need to eat. He's eating.
Yeah, of course.
He's got money.
Yes.
He's not a kid who's broke. NIL's may change the whole game. Even if NIL hadn't changed the whole game, his daddy is still Deion Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
He's not Schmo from wherever. There's no way in the world that man would allow Shedeur to get drafted by the Browns.
Only way I think he allows that if he has like some backhanded deal where he could step in the following year and become the coach.
He just signed a 5-year, $54 million deal with Colorado,
bro. What does that mean? What does that mean anymore?
He's one of the top 10 paid coaches in the NFL.
What does that mean anymore?
Means he has a cushy ass job.
I could still leave.
For Cleveland?
It's the NFL at the end of the day.
Bro, man. He doesn't want. I think there's only 2 places that he would have coached in the NFL. That would have been Dallas or fucking Vegas.
I agree with you. I'm just saying that's the only way.
Or maybe the Giants, but no way in hell is he gonna go coach. Want to be in Cleveland?
Cleveland.
No offense, people in Cleveland, but you don't even want to live in Cleveland.
Rudy, you're just killing every city today, huh?
There was a video that they made back in the day with Cleveland and Detroit about places that people don't want to live, and it was the funniest damn video. One of the funniest things. It was like, check it out. You Google it on YouTube. The Cleveland Tourist Agency tourism. It's a joke video, and like the river water is brown. The fish in the river are all dying. I mean, I'm sure it's a joke, but I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not from there. But no, I just can't see that Deion or Shedeur would ever allow him to get drafted by the Cleveland Browns. So I don't know. The thing is, they make this deal. They now have Russell Wilson. You're not bringing him in to play for 5 games and then give up the job to Shedeur Sanders. I'm looking at a few different mock drafts right now, and there's one here from 10 hours ago. CBS Sports. You want to know where Shedeur Sanders is drafted?
New Orleans.
What pick is that?
Like 12, I think. I don't know.
26.
Get out of here.
Los Angeles Rams.
Ooh, I like that for his career. I don't think he's surprised. He don't make it that far now.
Now there's other ones that still have him at number 3 or 2.
I like that for his career purposes, going behind Stafford for a year and getting with McVay. He's get him in the bright lights in Los Angeles. Ooh. But no way. And Rudy, to your Cleveland point, you obviously didn't watch Drew Carey's show back in the days when they said Cleveland Rock.
Yes, I did. I did watch it. I love that show.
Cleveland rocks.
And that was the point. And that was the point of that video. They said Cleveland sucks. in that video. Matthew Stafford is owed $23 million this year. He's under contract for next year. I have a hard time believing they would cut him at $26 million.
Trade him. Get some assets back. I don't know. I'm just saying, but that's.
I know. I'm not saying I disagree. That's not a bad spot for Shedeur. I'm not saying it's not a bad spot.
You give
It's a good
yourself
spot.
options. You could. Shedeur sit 2 years. I highly doubt that.
I'll be real. Look, I'll be real. Look, like again, I go back to the point where this kid's made a lot of money. Like,
yeah,
his first contract won't be the contract that matters. They're all slotted. The contract is the second contract.
Yeah.
So show people you're a player. And I mean, if you're the starting quarterback for the Rams, you're gonna make $50 million a year. But yeah, that's the one. And I mean, I'm looking at this Pro Football Focus one because I was like, where the hell is Shedeur? It's like, is this being done again? Is this happening again? But here's my thought. I'm still drafting Shedeur at number 3.
Yeah.
I am still drafting him number 3. Even if he sits for 2 years.
I don't blame, and it'll be a year. Russell Wilson won't last longer than a year. Jameis Winston, he can last as a backup for 2 years. But it'll be Shedeur.
He'd be a third stringer. Look at this. This is the Los Angeles Times right now. This is the LA Times. This is dated March 31st. They got Shedeur going where?
If you don't like him, then don't draft him. I get that part. Like if you don't think that this is the quarterback to change your franchise, then don't draft him. I get that. You have a couple of quarterbacks.
They got him here going 6 to the Raiders. I've always thought that the Raiders was the best spot for him personally, even though they took Geno Smith. But I would
still draft him. I don't care. It's some situations, they have their main quarterback. If Shedeur is there on the board, you pick him up. And I haven't seen a kid take a beating like that and stand in that pocket. And that's a gift and a curse that kid is strong.
Well, they're giving
pounding. Like, is he not getting rid of the ball when he should, or is he trying to make a play because the Colorado situation, or just trying to make a play? The O-line is bad. I don't know if the O-line is bad or it's on him some of those times. I'm going to go with a mixture. It's not all one side on why something's happening. It's usually a mixture of the two, holding the ball and then the O-line being bad.
That's a major criticism. That's a major criticism of though, is that he holds the ball way too long.
But
that's said by every.
So some of them games I watch when he's holding the ball, I'm like, where's his outlet? Where's his hot read? Who's he supposed? Like, why is the offense not devised where he has a hot to go to in certain situations? I'm like, everybody's down the field. You should have somebody doing something
because they ran a bombs away offense.
Yes, but they also ran checkdowns, the little screens and hitches all game also.
Who were the checkdowns? They ran plays to Travis Hunter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Little screens to Travis Hunter, or they run little flare outs and they have the receiver blocking out there. Not only the Webster, they ran not only to Travis, they ran at the Webster, and also they did that also. But how their offense was devised in Colorado, I don't know if it's all on Shedeur for not having hot. Sometimes he does, and he just holds the ball. I don't know, but I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's a tough kid, at least on the field. Off the field, what has Cam Ward? Again, I'm not following this. I don't know if you're following it totally. I mean, I always thought Cam Ward was better, but what has Cam Ward done to truly separate himself? Because from every report I've read, Cam Ward is levels better than him, according to all these scouts. What has he done in workouts that has convinced people that he's just that much better? Rudy, I'm gonna tell you what it is, man. I think he sounds mature in his certainty of when he's in a huddle. Like, he sounds like whatever he says, like everybody follows it. It's like, hey, we're gonna get this win, we're gonna find a way to do it, blah, 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 blah. And I think people hop on that. rather than the play. I don't think they're that much separate, but I think Cam Ward makes you feel like you're gonna win every game. Like it's just how he talks, how he goes about the situation. You're like, yeah, hell yeah, we're gonna ride for Cam. Like I think that's what like his voice brings that type of like power to a huddle, and that's what I get from watching. I don't think nothing else. I just think when I hear Cam Ward talk, his positivity. Oh yeah, he sounds like he make me believe. Him and Martin Luther King. They made me believe. They made me think we can pull it off, baby. They made me think we can do it, baby. We're going to pull this thing out. We're going to make it go. Then that's the only difference, Rudy. That's the only thing I got. I don't know what you feel on that, but that's what I feel in this situation.
I don't really know.
That's it, man.
I'm just googling. I'm googling it. Why he has separated. Um,
he, they the maturity. He sounds mature. He sounds that part about it, man. When you hear Shedeur and how he talks sometimes, it's like,
I
but
think
they talk the
Shedeur.
same way because I think Cam has his moments where he sounds pompous but it just comes off differently coming out of his mouth than it comes out of Shedeur. That's it right there. It just comes out differently from Cam. They could say the same words, Rudy. They could say, I love football, and Shedeur can say, I love football. And you're like, damn, the way Cam said it, I don't know. He really
All
loves
right. Okay.
football.
So here's what. Here's. I'm using this. Yeah. AI better be working properly. Here's a breakdown based on, I guess they pull this from articles. Perceived upside. Some analysts and scouts believe Ward possesses more potential to develop into a top tier NFL quarterback compared to Sanders. Ward is considered to have a stronger arm, a quicker release, and throws with more velocity than Sanders. I wouldn't know. See, that's your scouting. If you're
Cam
watching it, that's
he
on
got
you.
some heat on it. He got some heat.
While Sanders is known for his calm demeanor, Ward is seen as more of an assertive and accountable leader. Yes,
That's what I just
yes.
said.
NFL scouts view Ward as a gunslinger with good size, with a good arm and legs that help his offensive line. Some NFL scouts believe Ward could drag subpar talent to a win, while Sanders' ceiling is viewed as lower.
Hey,
Um,
I literally just said all those things in different words. It's the same thing though.
and Ward is slightly bigger. Sanders is known for his accuracy and ability to throw on the move. Um, yeah, yeah. So really, take it for what it's worth. Take it for what it's worth. I watched them both play. I watched Shedeur. I watched Colorado play damn near every game,
Yeah.
and I always found that a lot of the stuff that Colorado did in games was puffed, like almost padding numbers. When they would be blowing people out and they're still chucking the ball down the field up 30, and they had a few games where they were just blowing people out the building. And I did think that there were times where like they had no running game whatsoever. And I don't know if that's because of Dion's desire to puff up Shedeur, or if it was because they had no running game. Because
Mhm.
we don't know. They never really tried to run the ball.
They had
Um,
some moments they tried, Rudy, and they got like 29 carries and they got 98 yards.
not when 15 of them were fucking Shedeur. I mean, no, I mean, should there were games where you watch him and you watch him drag out plays. You're seeing him let go of the ball, throw the ball away, throw it away. Like that, throwing it away has value. And
Yeah,
he's a guy that never wanted to throw the ball away.
yeah. I
He
seen a
wants
play
to.
where he ran out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. Where all he had to do was just throw the ball across the line of scrimmage, and it would have been
That's
third
crazy.
and 10 rather than third and 15.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And I mean, yeah, I watched Cam Ward play every game, and there were days where you're sitting like, what in the fuck? That cross body throw that he made a few times. I'm like, oh my
Like,
god. He also had that too cool for school, like jogging out of bounds type of thing where you're like skirting the line. Like, brother, get the fuck out of bounds.
uh-huh.
They're gonna knock your fucking head off.
And the next level,
And huh?
he ain't gonna make it to the next level because they're faster.
Yeah, they're gonna knock your head off. Like, bro, you need to get your ass out of bounds. Um, so I think they both have their. I don't think either of them is. I mean, realistically, I don't think either of them is an elite NFL quarterback. And I love Cam Ward, but because he went to Miami. Other than that, I don't. I think he's really good. I don't think he'll ever be a top 5 NFL quarterback.
So you don't think he could be like a Jalen Hurts? Like Jalen Hurts, you're like,
I don't think
maybe
Jalen
not
Hurts is
all
the
the
top five
mechanics,
quarter. I don't think Jalen Hurts is a top five
but he's a
quarterback.
motivator, and I think that counts for something. To getting
Great,
everybody to
but
want to play,
again,
to do their job right, to make your job easier.
Philadelphia has largely had some of the best players in NFL on that team with Jalen Hurts. Like, let's not act like Philadelphia was talent, had voids of talent. Like, they had Saquon Barkley this year. Hell, last year they were like, 9-0, 10-0 before they fell apart.
Shit the bed.
You know, they were undefeated until like 9 or 10 games into the season. It's and the year before they were in the Super Bowl, right?
And the year before he took over and led them to the playoffs and
You
lost to the
know,
Bucks.
so like this not a team that is missing talent. And I like Jalen Hurts, but I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback. If you're
Top
asking me,
five.
if you ask me to, we're gonna do this again. If you're asking me who I'm starting a team with at quarterback, he's not in the first 5. He's not.
I don't know. We might have to think about it, man. I
I
don't
don't.
know.
I mean,
I think intangibles
I just have to think about it simply because I don't know all the quarterbacks. But I mean,
Josh Lamar,
I already know.
Mahomes.
I already know that I'm going to go first with Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson off the bat. That's 3. I'm going Jaden Daniels that is there.
Whoa.
CJ Stroud is there. Like, I'm not taking Jalen Hurts over.
Should we take Lamar over Jalen Hurts? That's a question
Are you
now, man.
kidding? Has Lamar Jack? I mean, come on, man. Like, come on.
It's a question now, man. Like,
Not really. Not to me.
'cause I've
Not to me.
seen Lamar go against the same Chiefs defense,
I'm not a fan of Lamar, but I
and
wouldn't think.
I seen not Lamar. I seen Hurts go against the same Chiefs defense and look outstanding, especially in the previous Super Bowl where he even looked better than this Super Bowl.
All right, so let's ask that. Okay, are we gonna compare who Lamar has to throw the football to
That's the difference.
to who Jalen Hurts is throwing the football to? Like, let's be real. Like, both those dudes would start for the Ravens.
Oh,
They would be the number 1 and 2 receiver on the Ravens.
of course.
Like, think about the fact that they lost the game because whatever the damn tight end's name is, Andrews dropped the ball.
Yeah,
Dropped the ball.
but
Mark Andrews dropped the ball.
He's one of the better tight ends in the league.
And guess what? Guess who takes that L?
He's a top 3 tight end in the league.
And guess who takes the L?
Lamar.
Guess who gets blamed for it?
Yeah,
Lamar. And I'll be the one to tell you. I think Lamar is See, this is where I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite, but I think Lamar's vastly overrated.
Yeah.
I've always thought that. I also thought his contract was completely bloated. I've also said that I don't think he's as good as people think he is. But I also don't think I like Jalen Hurts' personality. I think he's more, I think he's probably a better leader than Lamar Jackson is.
So that has
but I don't think if you ask me talent for talent, skill for skill, Lamar Jackson's a freak. And he's not played with the players that would Jalen Hurts go 15-2 with the Baltimore Ravens?
Ooh.
No.
Because I think he could do sort of the same things Lamar can do. It doesn't look as flashy. But he can run. He can run.
Yes,
he's not 4.3 like Lamar, but he's probably 4.44 or 4.5.
Well, he can run, but again, who's the wide receivers that Lamar's throwing the ball to?
I always said that.
Nobody. He got no one to throw to.
That's been my biggest thing. But why can't he get a good receiver? Is it the GM or is it
because receivers
don't want to play with him?
People convince themselves that guys like Odell Beckham Jr. are still good.
No. But they're minds.
People have convinced themselves that these guys are still good. They're not good. I mean, look, they were good at one point, but today they're washed.
Yes.
Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown would both start for the Baltimore Ravens.
Start.
They'd be the number 1 and 2. They'd be 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So, and even, Derrick Henry had a good year, but he didn't have a Saquon year.
Barely. Come on now.
But again, look at how they lost the game to the Chiefs. Toe. Yeah. The guy is a little bit snake bitten by freakish stuff that happens, the thing that bounces Patrick Mahomes' way doesn't seem to ever bounce Lamar Jackson's way. Is he responsible for some of it? Yeah. Do I think the Eagles have better talent across the board than the Ravens? Absolutely.
I mean, Lamar makes some throws in the playoffs that's like, and I love him. Some
Yeah,
throws
and
in
then
the
and then he
playoffs,
also
I'm
has a
like,
wide receiver, and then he has a wide receiver that fumbles the ball at the 1 yard line,
yeah, but yeah,
and he gets blamed for that too.
I would love to see him with a true number one. Not every year we get some
Because
makeshift number
everyone,
one
exactly, there's a new guy, right?
who used to be a number one, and now we're gonna
Exactly.
say, hey, did he have Sammy Watkins or no? Sammy Watkins ended up going to Baltimore. Pretty sure,
Bro, he's had nobody that was a number one when they were really. He's ever had a real number one when they were a number one.
His best number one was really probably like a 3, Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, like they never had a number one when it was number one time. Like that guy may have been a number one before, but he ain't a number one anymore. He's not even a number two anymore. He's
Bateman
number
a flop.
three.
Bateman been a flop. Bateman.
Who the hell did he play for?
In college, or are you talking about?
He played for UCF in college.
No, Bateman went to Arizona. I want to say
Rashad Bateman. I don't know why.
You're thinking about the.
Is that name Rashad Bateman?
You're thinking about Brett Perriman or what the UCF. Rashad Bateman didn't go.
Maybe I'm losing my mind. No, this guy didn't go to Arizona either. He went to freaking Minnesota, bro.
Okay, yeah, Minnesota.
You have no idea either.
Minnesota.
Yeah, well, you can't say Arizona and then say Minnesota. Say like you were right.
Purple, yellow, gold. Same
Arizona's not purple. Yeah, they're not purple.
Arizona State. That's what I meant. I meant Arizona State. That's what I meant. That's what I was thinking.
And they're maroon and gold. I think of.
You have to get him a number one. I told you that. You told me that it was okay, and I say he hasn't had a number one.
When did I say it was okay to have a number one receiver?
You said
okay.
You said he has my guy in the slot. I say he's a slot receiver. That's not a true number one.
No, I said he has a better guy than he's had in the past. Yeah, but he hasn't. But that guy's not. I never said that guy was number one wide receiver.
You said
I never called him a. Come on, man. This is.
We argued about this.
You blew smoke up that kid's ass because he's from South Florida.
No way. I didn't even know he was from South Florida. I didn't know he played on the team with all the basketball.
Zay Flowers?
Yeah, I didn't know Zay played. I didn't know he played there.
South Florida. That's why you blew smoke up his ass. Because I think that Zay Flowers is a decent wide receiver. Do I think he's a great one? No.
I didn't even know that until I saw
But they talk about him like he's great.
No, I said give Lamar somebody on the outside so we could find out for real.
Well,
and we keep giving these Odell Beckham. Like what?
And when that happened, what happened? What did people say?
ACL. I'm like, what?
When that happened, what did people say?
Nobody.
Y'all the same people that basically said Odell Beckham was the MVP of the Super Bowl. He got hurt in the second quarter. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, he had a good few plays.
2 quarters, like
wide ass open. Nobody was even guarding him.
That was the MVP. People, you know how many people were saying, "Oh, he's the MVP of the Super Bowl."
He was on track, but it wasn't because he was out there routing people up. He was just running through zones, and he got open. And
2 quarters.
Yeah.
And you don't know what would have happened if they had played 4.
And everybody was guarding.
Cooper Kupp.
Please.
Like, can we stop?
That's when Cooper Kupp was out there.
But people have a love affair with OBJ. They always do. They've always had a love affair with OBJ. Like, even the Dolphins said, OBJ.
I thought he could be at least the third person that he could work the middle. I thought that, but
why?
Because I thought he was a little bit bigger. He could take a couple more hits. He can work the slots.
The guy that's literally been injured every fucking year can work the middle.
I thought he would be more of a presence, sure hands across the middle. He's smart enough to go sit in the zone. He don't have to beat people off the line and get separation too much. All he has to do is work his quickness in and out of breaks.
And he was injured before the season started. Like he always is.
That career.
And then complained about playing time.
The Derrick Rose of the NFL.
I mean, yeah. So
promise early on, and injuries just ruined.
Like I like CJ Stroud. I think CJ Stroud is really good. Here's the thing. Here's another comment that they make about. They compared I heard this actually on a podcast by one of these NFL draft experts. And I'm not one. I'm not saying this is what I've said. This is what I believe it was Todd McShay said. I swear I heard him. I saw that on something where Shedeur Sanders is a less athletic version of Caleb Williams. And Caleb Williams was a disaster this year.
But
And I always thought that Caleb Williams was so highly overrated.
mm-hmm.
So, and if you had asked me who I would have taken first, I would have taken Jaden Daniels first over Caleb Williams. Just the same way I would have taken CJ Stroud first over Bryce Young. And people, I'm not saying this as revisionist history. I'm saying I said all this shit when it happened because you give me a 6'3" CJ Stroud or a 5'10" Bryce Young, it's not fucking rocket science.
Dang, what are you talking about? He can't be Drew Brees out there? Sheesh. This short quarterback says win Baker Mayfield. Russell Wilson, dangerous. Come on now. Back when he was dangerous over there.
When did Russell Wilson get drafted?
2000, probably back
what round?
Third.
No one was taking Russell Wilson in the first round.
Kyle Wilson. I mean, Kyler Murray. Kyle Wilson.
Kyler Murray's trash.
He started off hot.
He's trash.
He started off hot.
He's trash.
He stopped playing Call of Duty instead of film.
Kyler Murray's trash.
But he has the talent. He has the arm strength. He got the escapability. I mean, he has his moments. He had hot moments.
Great. He's trash.
I wouldn't say trash. You're taking right now over Tua right now.
I would take a dog over Tua.
Tua Tagovailoa.
I would take a Chihuahua over Tua.
All right.
And that's the most annoying dog on earth. you using Tua as an example is probably the worst example on earth because I would take the high school quarterback at my old high school that doesn't exist anymore over Tua. That's what I think of Tua as a quarterback. People can tell me I'm an idiot. I don't give a fuck. I got a brittle ass QB that if you
Tua top 20 quarterback?
Top 20?
Yeah.
If he doesn't have Tyreek Hill, no. If he has Tyreek Hill, then yeah. But without a healthy Tyreek Hill, no.
Well, you got to give everybody else a healthy Tyreek Hill.
No, you don't. No. I'm saying Tyreek Hill's not on your team.
I'm saying if Tyreek Hill could be on everybody's quarterback. If everybody had Tyreek Hill, is Tua a top 20 quarterback?
No.
Okay.
Not to me.
I gotta go count. I had him at 12 last year, but
he's way below that now. Yeah, he's way below that now. Yeah, I had him higher up last year too. He's way below that. I don't think anything of Tua. I mean, I've told you how many guys I would take ahead of him. I mean, no, look at the QBs. You want? I mean, we can go through the list if you want. I can't think of them right now. I probably wouldn't take JJ McCarthy over him though.
Viking fans catch another stray.
I wouldn't take JJ McCarthy over him, because I think JJ McCarthy is a shittier version of him.
Damn.
Really? We have a guy that threw for 700 yards in his last 6 college games, and he won a national championship, and he gets praised like he's the reason. That's like telling people that Tua was the reason that Alabama won.
Yeah, that was crazy. The crazy part was
look at the guys that were look at the guys at one point that look at the guys.
Argument for Tua though. You can make an argument for Tua because he did come in. He did come in the
that was a fluke. That was a fluke, man. You have a team that's totally not prepared for what this kid. He's a completely opposite quarterback of Jalen Hurts. And then what happened when they were prepared for him? Couldn't do. They put Jalen Hurts in, and it was. That was a perfect situation. You also have Kirby Smart, who is mind fucked by Nick Saban, and is like, remember I said yesterday there was the WNBA, not the WNBA, the college women's game, the South Carolina Duke game for the Elite Eight. You have one team that knows it's going to win. You have one team that hopes it's going to win. And South Carolina won,
and that's
they're going to
hope and prayer.
The what? And they won the game, a game that was ugly as shit, and Duke should have won that game. But South Carolina knew Duke was up 6 late in the third quarter, and they were in control. And it was a horrible game. But this is like Nick Saban and Kirby Smart. Nick Saban knows he's going to beat Kirby Smart. And Kirby Smart's going to choke his fucking ass off, as he always does.
Mm.
You know, to Nick Saban. Even the year that they beat them, I mean, did they really beat them? Remember how many injuries happened in that game for Alabama?
Yeah.
Didn't Jamison Williams get hurt like in the first quarter of that game?
ACL, right? Yeah.
Pretty significant. Wasn't John Michie on that team too, and he was already hurt?
Yeah.
That's pretty significant. I mean, I've never thought much of Tua, and quarterback play to me in the NFL is not great. So if you have a great one, you better never let him go. You better never let him go, because look at these guys. Do I think Hurts is a top 10 guy? Yeah. Do I think he's a top 5 guy? No, I don't think he is.
I'm just saying, it has to be a conversation.
Is he top 5 because he's won? See, I think we've lost sight of what when people are gonna say I'm stupid on this one too, but I think we lose sight of what we have, this ring culture now. Okay, he won a ring. Great. Again, look who was on his team.
He's been the 2.
Talent for talent. The Eagles were so much more. Did you really think the Chiefs were going to beat the Eagles?
I didn't.
Did you really think the Chiefs were going to beat the Eagles?
I didn't think so, but I will not bet against Patrick Mahomes again. I learned that lesson. We learned that lesson.
Well, yeah. I said that. Yes, I did it. I did say in my prediction, if the game is under a score and Patrick Mahomes has the ball at the end, the Chiefs are going to win. But I think Philly's going to blow them out of the fucking building, and they did. And they did. They blew them out worse than I thought they'd blow them out. I said they beat them by 3 touchdowns. Yeah, it ended up being an 18-point game. We know what that game was. It was an ass whipping.
Yes.
It's an ass whipping.
40-7.
40-7. The game, I mean, come on. It was a trouncing. It reminded me of the Redskins against the Bills and the Cowboys against the Bills and the Niners versus the Chargers. That was a destruction. Because why? Philadelphia had just way better players. Well, it looks like UConn's going to the Final Four. They're up 14 with 8 seconds left. This game is done.
Let me see.
But yeah, that's the ball game. That is the ball game. UConn wins 78-64, as I expected. Thought they beat him worse. Actually, USC actually gave him a fight. They actually gave him a fight. I don't know. The QB conversation now is different. Hell, I might have been convinced that Jalen Hurts is top 5 just by thinking about it. I don't know. Because I do like him. I do like him.
I think that's a conversation for next week. I gotta go look and count and determine this. I really gotta think. I can't just throw it up names right now because it's gonna make me.
Let me just look at this real fast. Stats. I'm gonna go stats. That's easy. Okay. Would I take Joe Burrow or Jalen Hurts? I take Joe Burrow. Would I take Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts? I take Patrick Mahomes. Would I take Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts? I take Josh Allen. Would I take CJ Stroud over Jalen Hurts? Yes.
No.
Would I take Jalen Daniels over Jalen Hurts? Yes. Look what Jalen Daniels did in his first year. I know you think he's gonna fall apart in year 2, but
yeah, it's gonna be a little rocky.
Okay.
I'm not taking CJ Stroud over him yet. Nope.
Okay. Am I taking Jared Goff over Jalen Hurts? Yeah. I mean, that's 5 right there.
I'm not taking Jared Goff over him yet. I like Goff. I like Goff, but no.
So you're taking the quarterback that was 20th in passing over the quarterback that was 2nd in passing.
Well, what about his running? Does that not account to him gaining yards and first downs? We gave 500 yards rushing, moved the chains.
Okay, that still has him 1,000+ yards behind Jared Goff in passing.
Did
alone.
Jared Goff have Saquon Barkley at Barkley?
Jared Goff was 15-2 in the regular season. He was the number 1 seed that they fucking choked their ass off, and that happens. I know that's on him.
Well, maybe that's their problem over there.
He had 630 yards rushing. So if you add his 2903 to his 630, that was 3,500 yards, 35 and change.
He missed
And
what, 3 games?
Jared Goff threw for 4,629 yards.
All right, now add another couple hundred yards to it because he missed like 2 or 3 games.
What are you talking about? He missed 2 games. Okay, so let's say he's at 4,000 now.
And he got hurt in one of those games.
All right, you got a lot of excuses.
Out the first quarter. I'm just
You
saying.
got a lot of excuses, don't you? You're just coming up with all kinds of
If
shit,
we're gonna
aren't
talk
you?
about it, let's look at all the
All right.
numbers.
Well, let's look
Just
at
like
averages. So
Michael Jordan.
Jared Goff completed 72.4% of his passes. Jalen Hurts completed 68.7. Jared Goff threw for 37 touchdowns. Hurts threw for 18. Like, what are we talking about, bro?
Yeah, how much he rushed?
Jalen Hurts got sacked 21. I'm sorry, no, I was Tua. Sorry.
How much touchdowns did he rush for?
Dude, get the fuck out of here, man. This is a quarterback position, not running back. Stop it. So that's the Lamar Jackson argument then.
That's the point.
Well, then if you're using that argument for Jalen Hurts, then Lamar Jackson's absolutely better than him.
The point is to score.
Nick, but if you're using that argument for fucking Hurts, then Lamar Jackson is absolutely, unequivocally better than Jalen Hurts.
I don't know. Big moments, big time.
I don't know.
So,
you can't. You just said one thing and using against Jared Goff and Lamar Jackson.
I also have to take into account not everything that you did the first 3 quarters.
Lamar Jackson rushed for 900 yards.
So I can't just account for everything you did for the first 3 quarters of looking amazing. Now, when the game got to crunch time and I need you to be at your best, that has to have some type of.
Come on, man. Dude, come on.
It has to have some type of importance in the regards of this conversation.
Importance?
Yes. If the last 6 minutes of the game.
What did Jalen Hurts do in the fourth quarter? What did Jalen Hurts do in the fourth quarter of the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl?
In the Super Bowl, he was sitting down on the bench.
What did he do in the NFC Championship?
Who they played against?
They won by 35. He did nothing.
So what he
did nothing. He did nothing. He did nothing. So your argument now about the fourth quarter doesn't have water because they were up 30. It didn't matter. He could have freaking thrown 4 picks in the fourth quarter. They would have won the game.
Who else they played? Green Bay, right?
That was their one tough game. They also was it Green? Oh, you're making me look this shit up now. They played Green Bay. They won 22-10. Then they played the Rams. They won 28-22. In that game, he threw for 128 yards.
Hand the ball off to my running back.
Yeah, hand it off to Saquon West rush for 205.
Yeah, because I also made an audible to get the ball to Saquon because I saw the defense they're in, and I got my team into that. That's the leadership. That's also you got to take that into account. For somebody,
so you just literally made that up, right?
No, it's literally what happened.
You
saw him make the check at the line, and then Saquon went for 70 yards. That seems like a leader to me. Somebody who got intangibles. Not always all about numbers, man. As somebody who didn't have a lot of interceptions.
So the 78-yard, so the 62-yard run for a touchdown by Saquon was because of Jalen Hurts.
Yep, and somebody
the 78-yard touchdown by Saquon was because of Jalen Hurts. Maybe that's what you're saying.
Maybe or the threat of Jalen Hurts being able to pull the ball.
You're so ungodly full of shit. It's ridiculous.
Or the threat of him being able to pull the ball for RPO, holding the defensive end to the edge. Like all those are factors at the end. Like, oh, I can't come crashing down on Saquon, and Saquon gets an extra little gap to run through the hole because they have to account for Jalen Hurts.
You're literally making bullshit up now.
I'm just saying, man.
You're making bullshit up now.
Stuff has to be accounted for his threat of being on the field, of things that he can do that he brings to the team. I'm just saying. If we want to be real,
what are you saying? You're saying nothing. What are you saying?
Numbers don't mean it all. Numbers are not at all because I can talk about my career as a football player.
Lamar Jackson.
I didn't have a lot of interceptions. But as a player, I was a good player, and you didn't throw at me all day long. I didn't get picked on. I was a.
Were you being talked about as a top 5 cornerback in the league?
Maybe I should have. Maybe I fucking should have.
It's like arguing with my wife. My God, like you're literally changing the subject, the goalpost for everything.
I learned.
Literally,
I learned from the bet.
Lamar Jackson won 2 MVPs because he ran the ball,
I'm
because
not,
of his numbers, not because they won, but because he had 1,000 yards rushing.
and they won.
They didn't win when it mattered, according to you.
They don't count that. They only count the regular season. They don't know what you're gonna do in the
So
playoffs.
I'm gonna base my opinion on quarterbacks on the regular season. When
Oh,
any bullshit can happen in a playoff game and be a fuck up. And one
okay.
fuck up changes the entire game.
When I need you the most, this is when you're gonna give him the
Really, when I need you the most. So tell me how many
hall
points.
pass. Okay, hall pass to me.
So tell me what the Philadelphia Eagles defense did against the Chiefs.
They got a couple of sacks. They made some plays, a couple of plays here and there,
Couple of plays.
couple of plays,
Couple of plays.
interception here and there,
Here and there.
here and there.
They dominated the game.
If that's the word you want to use,
I could have played quarterback that night.
you
You could have played quarterback that night.
I mean,
You could have put Tua at quarterback that night with how good that damn Eagles.
well, I mean, I played quarterback before. I was all-time quarterback growing up in Pee Wees. Like we played at the field, all-time quarterback. We never lost. So I mean, maybe I should have been the quarterback.
We never lost. And you know what? I'm not using stats because I don't think Baker Mayfield's better than Jalen Hurts, but Baker Mayfield did throw for 4,500 yards, had a higher completion percentage, threw for 41 touchdowns, and took a far less talented team to the playoffs. And I'm not using the numbers to say Baker Mayfield's better than Jalen Hurts, because I don't think he is. So a second ago, numbers are what it is. Make up your mind. That's what I'm saying. Make up your mind. Sam Darnold last year was better than Jalen Hurts.
Everything's a negotiation.
No, it's not.
Anyway. Everything negotiable.
All righty.
I don't even know
what was the topic? This was a Shedeur Sanders topic.
I didn't know this topic.
I think Shedeur Sanders. I think the Giants should still draft Shedeur Sanders. Let him sit for a year, let him learn, and then decide if they're going to play him in year 2, and then cut bait with Russell Wilson.
I agree.
It's that simple. If they don't draft him, I think it's a massive mistake. I would probably cut Jameis Winston also. He wouldn't even make my team because I'm obviously going to make Shedeur my backup. I'm not having Shedeur hold a clipboard as a third stringer. That's not going to happen.
Jameis can hold a clipboard. That's fine.
As a third stringer, I guess, if you want to pay him that much money to be a third stringer, you go ahead and do it, huh?
$4 million?
I don't know. Is it $8 million or $4 million? I don't know.
2 years for $8 million.
You could go find a high school kid that will do it for less. But yeah, I have a hard time with Shedeur not getting drafted at number 3. Yeah, and I don't think in any way in hell he lets the Cleveland Browns draft him.
We'll find out in 2 weeks, right? The 17th around that time or something like that. Or they move it back to like the 24th.
I have no idea. It's the stupidest event of the year.
Boring.
Most boring event of the year.
The ticker.
Let's see. April 24th to 26th.
Okay.
Oh, in the wonderful city of Green Bay, Wisconsin. God almighty.
Why would... Okay, that's another story.
God almighty.
So, because they don't want the players to get in trouble.
What players?
They might not even show up.
They've done it all over. They did it in Philadelphia one year. They did it in Tennessee another year. They've done it everywhere. They're moving it all around. When are they going to bring this thing to Miami?
They're not doing that.
Our time down here. But
them players they gonna split their whole check at Tootsie's.
Yeah, with you.
I know a couple.
Anyhow,
we're making a good night now.
That will do it for us here on this episode of Pro Football Corner with Nick. Please be sure to like, subscribe, follow, hit the bell, leave a comment. Let us know what your thoughts are. I know we went on a major tangent. That's what makes this so much fun. That's all we got. Come on now.